Did country music singer Luke Bryan pull his music videos from CMT and say it was time for the Bud Light treatment? No, that's not true. This claim originated from a self-described satirical website aimed at trolling conservatives. The website that posted the information, the Dunning-Kruger Times, has a disclaimer that describes itself as part of a network of parody, satire, and tomfoolery. Christopher Blair, the originator of this website, has a history of trolling, using satirical news stories. As of this writing, Luke Bryan has not pulled his music videos from country music television. The claim appeared as an article published by the Dunning-Kruger Times on July 20, 2023 titled, "Luke Bryan Pulls His Videos from CMT. Time for the Bud Light Treatment," which opened, quote, "Luke Bryan has more than 24 videos on country music television, CMT, that earn the network tens of thousands of dollars per month. Or should we say, had." End quote. Users on social media only saw this title, description and thumbnail, quote, "Luke Bryan pulls his videos from CMT. Time for the Bud Light treatment. Bryan stands with Jason Aldean, free speech, and America." End quote. Additional info about Dunning-Kruger-Times.com found on this wiki. Lead Stories. Com page. Feel free to remove OR key. If edited, please edit the wiki summary section too if needed. The article says, quote, "Standing in solidarity with his good friend Jason Aldean, Bryan notified CMT that he was pulling their license to use his material effective immediately. Your network isn't fit for my music," he reportedly told Executive Vice President Joe Barron. "Until you reinstate Jason's video and issue him a formal apology, you get nothing from my label." End quote. A Google search for Joe Barron Executive Vice President CMT did not yield any results of a person with that name employed for the network. Joe Barron appears to be the name of a deceased friend of Blair. His name is frequently used in Blair's satirical stories as a homage. The article mentioned solidarity with country music star Jason Aldean. CMT pulled Aldean's music video, "Try That in a Small Town," from its rotation after a public outcry over the video's lyrics and location. But, as of July 21, 2023, Bryan had not publicly announced that he has removed his videos from the Country Music Network to support Aldean. A Google search of the phrase, "Luke Bryan pulls videos CMT," yielded no credible news reports of that happening. The Bud Light treatment is a reference to the backlash the beer's manufacturer, Anheuser-Busch, suffered after conservatives protested against transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney promoting the beverage and receiving a personalized Bud Light can. A massive boycott of Bud Light caused Anheuser-Busch's market value to plunge. The Dunning-Kruger Times. The Dunning-Kruger Times, run by self-described liberal troll Christopher Blair, is a satirical website with an About page that has following disclaimer, quote, "About Us Dunning-Kruger-Times.com is a subsidiary of the America's Last Line of Defense network of parody, satire, and tomfoolery, or as Snopes called it before they lost their war on satire. Junk news about satire before you complain and decide satire is synonymous with comedy. Sat-ire sati. R noun. The use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics and other topical issues. Everything on this website is fiction. It is not a lie and it is not fake news because it is not real. If you believe that it is real, you should have your head examined. Any similarities between this site's pure fantasy and actual people, places, and events are purely coincidental and all images should be considered altered and satirical. See above if you're still having an issue with that satire thing." End quote. The website is named after the Dunning-Kruger effect, a term from a psychology experiment that describes the phenomenon of being ignorant of one's own ignorance. That experiment has been disputed. Blair's websites usually have multiple satire disclaimers and the stories very often contain obvious hints they are not real, like category names indicating they are fiction, links to sources that instead go to funny or offensive images, or an S for satire logo added to the images used as illustration. Another telltale sign is the name, Art Tubles, anagram for Bust a Troll, for characters in the stories. Additional lead stories fact checks of claims from the Dunning-Kruger Times can be found here.